So I'm gonna jump right into this. If you don't want to look thirsty or desperate or set yourself up as a target to be used, you may want to avoid a few of these habits. The first thing that women often do that make them look desperate in new relationships is love bombing or being overly affectionate or being too mushy. Men know whether or not they deserve your affection, if they've earned it. If you're constantly melting all over a guy, you may look more like a new lapdog than a new spouse to him. I guess the key to this behavior is make sure that your affections are returned.
Exactly.
I personally have been caught off guard by lovey-dovey behavior and terms of endearment that I wasn't really ready to hear before, and it always makes things a bit awkward. It's always painful to watch a woman swoon all over a man who doesn't match or even seems bothered by her romantic enthusiasm. Pouring it on too thick is only acceptable when both
keeping
parties
it
are
100.
completely into it. New relationships are complicated enough in that there are two parties trying to figure out and discover how they need to share their affections with one another. Don't create a need for them to make space by swarming them with your affections until you learn how they best receive love.
Let him miss
It can really
you.
feel like you're begging for closeness if this is overdone. The second thing that women do that make them look a bit desperate is calling and texting too much. I used to have this girl that I was talking to and trying to get to know. At first she was cool. I had approached her and I was calling her. About a week into it, she
He
started
gave her that
calling me
good
about
dick.
4 times a day. By 2 weeks, it was 8 times. No matter how much I talked to her, it was never enough. No matter how long we were on the phone, she'd always call right back. And if I didn't answer the phone, I get an angry text message. And we weren't even officially together. Needless to say, it didn't work out. I had to break things off, and I felt so bad about disappointing her. But her obsession with me really just zapped all of my interest in her. I just felt really smothered, and I know it hurt her, but there's no neat way to break glass. I never used her body or took anything from her.
He lying.
So she eventually got over it. My point here is, add a man to your life, but don't make him your life. Very few people want that level of responsibility. Unless he's a narcissist or he just plans on using you, a man wants to join you in your life. He doesn't want to become your life. One of the easiest ways to impress a man is to have some shit to do and give him time to miss you.
Vice
You start
versa.
feeling like property when someone won't back the hell up off of you. Moving on. The third thing that women often do that make them look really desperate is sexual favors for a guy that hasn't committed to them. Look, I'm just going to be blunt about this. Topping a guy off that's not your man because you want him to like you not only looks desperate, but is desperate. Hell, it might as well be begging. Again, guys know when they should be entitled to such a favor. So topping guys off, especially in cars to get them
He was
to like
raised
you back,
right.
is like the most desperate thing a woman can do. Premature fellatio comes off super thirsty. And I'm going to be honest. If a man hasn't told you he loves you or shown you his intent to be with you, then you shouldn't be putting anything of his into your oral cavity. Some of y'all are topping guys off here and there, to and fro, and still ain't found the man. And just in case you don't already know this, men never believe a woman when she says, I don't usually do this, because they usually do.
If she
And
good
even if
at
they
it.
don't, that's the perception. So if you really want a man to think that you don't usually do a thing, don't do it with him, and he'll assume that of most or all of your relationships. Fellatio is looked at as a selfless service, so don't service anyone who hasn't offered you their heart. But maybe that's just a guy's opinion. That's why y'all come here, right? Moving on, the fourth thing that women often do that make them look desperate to guys is excessive favors. Women often attempt to gain a guy's trust by tricking off their money and resources in an attempt to show them that they're a down-ass chick who can hold their man down. Always buying things and doing favors. The problem with this is it sets you up to get used by people who haven't earned your trust or effort.
Or
Very
you just
generous
might
women
want
often
some.
get taken advantage of after they show their willingness
You
to
might
go
just
the
got
extra
it. It
mile
ain't tricking
by
if
men
you
who
got
only
it.
wanted to see what he could get out of them anyway. While other guys might see all your efforts to overachieve and box you into that same little category that women put nice guys in. And while many men may like it, these habits are often identified as trying to buy love. And everyone knows that that comes from desperation. So it's best to err on the side of caution and save your excessive favors and gifts for men who have earned your love and reciprocated it. With that said, last but not least, the fifth thing that women often do that make them look desperate is thirst trapping. Things like racy IG pictures, backwards selfies, seductive clothing, twerking in public, and etc. Anything that will be considered excessive sexuality or advertising of sex value. Women who constantly bring their sexuality to center stage when they get around men always look desperate. I'm not saying they always are, but that's how it
He ain't
looks.
lying, for real, for real.
Attention seeking in this way can make men weary of you because they don't know if access to your body is limited or open to the public. If you want to be taken seriously, it should always appear that your sexuality is exclusive and access to your body is limited. When you're thirst trapping men on the gram, you're the one who actually looks thirsty. The quote-unquote bad bitches often have bad relationships because they market themselves to bad men who only want them for their sex value. And it's hard to blame these men, as these women, often desperate for love, only advertise their sexuality. I don't know, maybe they should try to start putting some books behind their ass or something to show that they have more than that to offer. I find it so funny how all these Instagram models be talking about how these thirsty men be in their inbox saying this and that. And I just be thinking,
You
but
putting
your
them
ass is
thirsty ass pictures
that
out
took some
there.
effort. If you've taken 56 pictures backwards in the mirror on your tippy toes, trying to find the perfect angle and lighting on your ass, you don't get to call anyone thirsty, because you've done a great deal for the likes you've gotten. Now don't misunderstand me. I'm not here to degrade bathroom models or Instagram models, or women who go above and beyond for the guy they like or is trying to impress. I'm only pointing out the fact that when the efforts you make as women to attract or keep a man interested far exceed the effort that he gives you, it always looks desperate. Women often forget that they are the prize of the relationship, that they are the most sought after treasure on this planet. The feminine energy makes this world spin. Guys spend their whole lives trying to make money, to acquire things, just to attract the treasure of a woman. Her nurturing, her love, her goddess energy. These things cannot be taken from a woman.
I wonder if he's single.
Them, and many women often do. You have been duped if you think that your real power as a woman lies in your ass, your tits, or your sex. I guess I'm off topic now. But my point is that a woman is too valuable to this world
His
to ever
ADD
operate
kicked
from a
in.
place of desperation, especially when trying to attract a man. We all have felt desperate at times, but it's very dangerous to let it manifest itself in the way that you handle potential partners. It telegraphs our
Okay, we're gonna stop right there. So, after listening to Kev Hicks, that's actually who that is. I will subscribe to him. He actually did a good job at laying everything out. And I listened to another one from him, and it actually was really good too. And he was really hitting some points, because, I hung with a lot of guys, so I kind of know what to do and what not to do in a relationship. Because I learned from the best, and I like listening to men when they, tell all on other men, and they talk just like females do. But just like he said, number one, he was basically telling you not to be too mushy, and you can't do that too soon. Trying to show all this affection just because you had a great conversation over the phone for probably about an hour and a half. You haven't talked on the phone an hour and a half with anyone since you were in middle school, but that's true. Don't show too much affection like right off. Because, once they see that they can, they're getting into your emotions, then that's when, they'll start sliding different things in, just to see how far they could push you or take you. And just like he said, texting, like you could text a guy too much and, call him, and you want to sit on the phone. Just like he said, no matter how much time I gave her on the phone, she constantly hung up and called back. Like, you should not do that. Like, you have friends. Hell, call them and gossip about what you told him, and just make it a whole rotation, or just wait on him to call you. Let him pursue you, because that's where I think we got lost in society. This new generation, they just, the women just started catering to guys, and they actually started buying their shoes and paying their bills, and he could drive my car, and and it's just, that's not what you do. You have to literally step back. Even if he gave you some of that good dick, you know what I'm saying? Because 9 out of 10, he gave you some good ass dick if your ass texting me, calling all the time. And then he was like, sexual favors. He was talking about like sexual favors. All right, so you got these sexual favors. So that means, oh, I remember one time I was dating this dude, right? And he was breaking up with this girl, quote unquote. And I was actually going through a divorce at the time. So, I hadn't been really sleeping with anyone, but I ended up sleeping with him and it was so great. But I would be at his house, which his girlfriend lived with him. And I would go over there and we would have the best sex in the world. Like I had never experienced some of the things I experienced with that little guy, but it was all good. And, but I had to switch that up. I'm like, hold up. I'm in this. I know she stay here. I know this is his house, but I mean, there's boundaries that you just can't do. And, and it just took me a few seconds. It's kind of digmatized at that time, but yeah, you can, offer sexual favors. And it really wasn't for him. It was kind of for me. So not all the time, it's actually that you're thirsty and you're just doing sexual favors for him. Maybe it was something that I wanted and that I needed. And he provided it. Then it was something else he said. He was like, Kev was talking about, you buying him stuff and then I'm teasing, they tricking if you got it, because I'm pretty a generous person, and if I got it, you know what I'm saying, you got it, and that's just how I rock, 50-50. But that's not how I want to go into a relationship, because I don't nowhere even think about it being 50-50. I think a woman should be able to do as much as she want, and a man is supposed to take care of the woman. And maybe I might be a little old school, you know what I'm saying? But I do go 50-50 with a person. It doesn't bother me. I mean, I have my own. I own my own. So, yeah. That's not for everybody, but some of you girls, stop being a mama and trying to buy their shoes and their clothes and fix them up, because you can't fix somebody up. Now, if he give you something, you give him something back. If he don't give you something, then shoot. He just let you know what it was about. That's it. Now, he also said about, that sexual attention, how, you'll have all these different poses. I'm on my tippy toes. That light is hitting my butt right. And, ooh, hold on, let my nipples looking okay. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we do that as women. But we're asking for the wrong attention. Because really, all women want is to be in a relationship and to love someone. But I think that's kind of chaotic off top. I mean, I can understand there's like models out there that are beautiful and, and they have the shape and, they put it out there. But most of those women are single or they in unhealthy relationships. And if you really want a relationship that's going to manifest into something that's going to be, last for years and years and, and be in a relationship in the ups and downs and, and just making it. It's just, something you shouldn't do. Hey, let that brother get to know you for your brains. Let him get to see how you cook. Let him know, you work. Not only do you have one job, but you got like 2 or 3 hustles. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's just the type of woman that I have always been. But I like Kev. Kev Hicks is the stuff. I like you, young man. Hey, keep up the good work. You got my thumb.